Hello everyone, welcome back to another Aquatics video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make a cheap aquarium lid for your 20 gallon, 10 gallon, whatever tank size you guys have. So let's get into it. Alright, first I want to show you guys what my tank setups look like. This is my tank rack. If you guys are familiar, if you guys follow along with all the videos, you'll know I made all of these lids out of polycarbonate. I actually have a sheet right here which I will be cutting up and using to show you guys in the purpose of this video, but I use that for all these lids. You guys can see these lids are really nice. They're super cheap. They're all one top. You know, I don't have barely any water coming out or any evaporation. I mean, these things are great. These things are super lightweight, cheap. I mean, you can't ask anything wrong for when you have a whole bunch of aquariums. It's a lot cheaper to run this polycarbonate than any sort of glass or anything like that. But now that I showed you guys kind of how it looks in my situation, let's go ahead and show you the polycarbonate sheet. So first off, I purchased this from Menards. Menards is my only local hardware store. If you guys follow along, you guys will know that. But this is the stuff that I picked up here. So this is a piece of 4 foot by 2 foot piece of polycarbonate. That is the technical name of this material. It's polycarbonate. Made for people who use this for different garden houses, having insulated garden houses. If you guys ever have seen those before, with all the plants and things like that. But if you guys need the exact brand or whatever, it's all by Genius. This is ice. It tells you all this and that. You don't need anything else more than that. But here, I guess it looks pretty blue. Like, man, I don't want a blue lid. This thing comes off. It's starting to peel off already somehow. But then underneath, it is actually see-through. When you take both of the pieces of plastic off, it's completely see-through. Now, a whole piece of sheet of this was about $12 a piece. My main instance, I'll be making this for 20 gallon aquariums and 55 gallon aquariums. A 20 gallon is just like a 55 gallon tank. It's just a little taller. So a 55 gallon with its center brace, it has the same footprint as a 20 gallon aquarium would have. If you guys see here, for instance, you guys can see the actual center brace. There's a center brace here. So this is the same. So this is the same width of a lid as if you had a 20 gallon tank. Okay, now that I kind of showed you the material that I'll be using, the very simple things, I'm going to be showing you guys the tools that you will be needing to cut this to the size of your aquarium. The first thing we'll need is a tape measure of some sort. I have like 10 of these things. I have this one, then I have this one. It don't matter, just get a tape measure. Nothing fancy, just a tape measure. Then, next thing you'll need is a razor blade of some sort. You could use like a razor blade thing like this. You could use something like these. I use these all the time for like aquarium cleaning, all different glass cleaning stuff. So this is the thing I will be using. It's just a lot easier. You got a little grip on it, cut it really nice. But the last tool that you'll be needing is some sort of straight edge. Mine has a T on it, so it cuts really nicely. You can use a ruler. I would not use a ruler, a yardstick, something flat, piece of wood. I don't know, so something flat that you guys can cut along to make a perfect edge. It's also good to mention this polycarbonate will work for anything that's 4 feet by 2 feet wide. You could use it on a 20 gallon tank, which is going to be the most popular decision, I think. I think this is what's going to apply the best to most people is a 20 gallon tank. You only have like 4 cuts, so it's not all that bad. A 55 gallon tank could apply to this. A 20 long could apply to this. It's all gonna differ. It's all gonna affect how many pieces you can get. But if I know, for instance, this piece of polycarbonate will work for about 4 lids, for example, 4 20 gallon tanks or 2 sections of the actual 55 gallon aquarium. But you guys can see all these have lids other than these 2 tanks. So this 55 here does not have lids yet. I do have it halfway filled up with water. I have the sponge filters in there. So I added that heater that I made a review on. I don't know if that video's out yet, but I made a review on a heater. That's in there. And then the bottom one's not full yet. I still have the airline. I gotta hook up the airline tubing, lights and stuff. I also gotta hook up these lights and blah 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 blah. But we're gonna be making a lid for these four sections here for the 55 gallon tanks. Now I talked about where you can get it, the things that you'll be needing, the prices of everything. Let's go ahead and start cutting this thing real quick. Alright everyone, I got my tools down here. I got everything. Let's go ahead and start get this thing going. It's not going to be too long of a video because this is not that hard and complicated to cut. I'm just going to show you the very basics. First thing, you want to take off the whole front page. You want to keep the back page on just because that keeps all the dirt and stuff not sticking to it, so it'll be cleaner of the surface. The next thing you want to do is go ahead and pretty much measure the inside of your aquarium. You want to measure from edge to edge. It's hard to hold the camera and do this at one time. You pretty much want to go from that edge here to this edge over here and measure how long it's going to be. Right, so I measured mine out. Mine is 23 1/4. you want to measure your tank. You do want to do about a quarter less, because this was actually about 23 3/8. And I'm going to be doing 23 1/4. It's a lot simpler. And then it allows a little wiggle room where it's not a snug fit, because you don't want it to be snug, so it's easy to remove and things like that. So that's what you want to cut. That's mine too, but you want to measure for what your tank is. If you have a 125 gallon tank, you want to measure that to get exactly. You just want to keep a little bit on the edges just so this thing fits in there pretty nicely. Now that we want to know our measurements, the easiest way to cut is with the grain. If you guys see the little lines here, the easiest way is to grab your razor blade and cut down the line, because that's a lot easier to cut. It's a lot harder to cut this way just because you're going against the grain. It's a lot harder to cut than if you went long ways with it. My measurement is 23 1/4 and by 11 1/2 inches. Since I'm making mine long ways, I'm going to want to make mine exactly 23 1/4 inch all the way across, so then it will be the right measurement, and then I can cut it up this way and have my 4 different pieces. Alright guys, we got all 4 of my lids. I cut them up. These are definitely not my proudest accomplishments. The camera's on a weird angle, so I kind of like kneel down. These things are straighter than, no, I'm just kidding. These things are not straight. Half of them are half decent, and the other ones are suck. But that is not the point. I'm not no artist. I don't care what they look like. They're going for a fish tank, so I mean, I don't really care. But we got all the lids done. The next step, I'm going to show you the next 2 steps, and then your lid is completely done and ready to go in your aquarium. Alright, the next step is to come over to your aquarium, get your lid, and you're going to want to see if there's any wires. A heater wire, and I have an air pump, an air wire for the actual sponge filter. So I'm going to need to cut little notches. The first thing to do is to line this up with what your notches are. You're going to want to bring it over here to your tank. And okay, so I need one right here. So I know that I have a cord coming in right here on my finger. So what I'm going to want to do is simply grab my razor blade and essentially cut the long way. It's going to be a lot easier. Want to go down a little bit just so you can get enough room to have a little notch out, and pretty much just cut a little notch out. Now you have a little notch, and you just want to pretty much cut the rest off. There you go. You guys see my little notch that I cut here. Take that out, and there you go. Now you can see my little notch, and that's going to be perfect for the heater wire. Obviously, if you have a hang-on back filter, a canister filter, you're going to have to cut this to your size, which is nice because you can have watertight fit if you have any jumping fish, if you have anything, and you'll save a lot on evaporation. You don't have to do water changes as much, just because the evaporation is going to stay in the tank a lot more. And there we go. The lids are done. The one last step that's optional is adding a little handle of some sort. Some people put knobs, some people put these. These are like little stick-on things. These things were like, I don't know, I think there's like 20 of them for like $6. So I have them along all my different aquariums. You can add that, or you can just not have one. It's gonna be definitely a lot harder to get your finger in there to lift the lid up. So I suggest adding some sort of pull handle. You guys can do a lot of different things. You can put pop sockets for phones or whatever else on there. But I like that because then you got a really quite easy handle and you can just pull right up. It is also to mention the reasoning why this is such an effective way is because a glass top is going to run you for a 20-gallon aquarium about 20-25 bucks. Something like this, you're going to be running about $3.50. So you see price differences. You can save a lot of money doing this, and plus you're going to cut your sides. It takes me no more than 5 minutes to cut that. Obviously I did not take my time, all of these. Obviously I just kind of cut it. It's not hard, it's not rocket science. Just pretty much cut it out the shape. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you guys have any other questions, leave them down in that comment section below. Make sure you subscribe if you got good information on this video. Make sure you like all those good things, guys. Let me know how I did on this video. Hopefully this tip helped you guys and save a lot of money on your aquarium at home. Other than that, guys, that's me for today's video. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.